So this next video is on template functions. And before I dive into what template functions are, let me just show you why we use templates. Um, so let's think about if we wanted a function that can swap the values of two integers, right? So this is a function that we've seen quite sometimes, right? This is a void function, and we call it swap. And inside that function, if we want to swap two integers, then we will pass two integers to the function, and we'll reference them, right? And then we will I'll pass a b, we'll reference them, and then inside our function, we will create an integer and name it temp. We'll set that equal to a. Then we'll set a equal to b, right? So now temp is reserving a's value, and then a is taking over b's value. And now since temp was set to a's original value, we just set b equal to temp. And now a and b have been swapped, right? So that's a pretty common function that we've used. So that will be great for switching integers. But what if we wanted to switch characters? Well, if we wanted to switch characters, then we have to write a new function. We'll call it void swap. And this time it'll be character. And then we'll reference that a. And then we'll have character. And then we'll reference that with b. And now, since we're talking about characters, we're going to create a character. We'll name it temp. We'll set that equal to a. And then we'll set a equal to b. And then we'll set b equal to temp. All right, and then I will swap two characters. What if we wanted to swap two floats? I would do something like this, void swap. I'll say float. And I'll do one for a, and then float. And this is a reference. I know it looks like an 8, but that's a reference. B. And then we'll say float temp is equal to a. And then we'll say a is equal to b, and b is equal to temp. All right, and now that will swap two floats. And what about doubles, right? At this time, you should probably be sick of seeing me write the same exact code, right? I'm writing the exact same code. The only thing that's different in this code is the data type, right? The only thing difference is that this particular one is an int, this particular one is a character, and this particular one is a float. But the algorithm is all the same on all of them, right? They're all the same on all of them. So we can actually create a function and do the algorithm once, and it can work for any data type that's passed to that function. And that's what a template function is. So if we create to create a template function, we use the keyword template, and then we use the greater than, less than, and in between those we write class, and then we create a name for our template, right? So in best practices, use T, right? That's a very common practice to just use T. And so T is going to represent any data type. This is going to be any data type, right? So as long as we pass, whatever variable we pass on, T is going to take on that value. So now we use T in our function definitions. So now I'll write void swap. And instead of using int, float, or character, or any other data type, I substitute that for T. Right, so now T is going to be our data type. And then in here, I'll put a ampersand, of course, and then A. And then we'll have T, and then an ampersand for B. And then we'll pretty much write the definition the same way, right? Since T is our data type, now we'll create a new variable of type T named temp and set that equal to A. And then we will set A equal to B. And then we will set B equal to temp. And now we only need to write this once. And so if we were to go into our main and we wanted to use this function, we can use the exact same function. If we pretend, if you can imagine that only this function was defined, then I can actually go in here and I can say character a b. Well, let me set some values to it. I can say character a is equal to, let's say it's equal to a, and let's say character b is equal to b. And then I can also create integers, right? I can say integer x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. And then I can say float. I can say float t is equal to 1.0 and s is equal to, I'll just say 2.0. I'm not sure why I put those in quotes. All right, so now we have 3 sets of different data types. And now I can actually just run, put these variables in that same swap function. Right, I can just say swap a and b, and then I can say swap x and y, and I can say swap, I can say swap t and s. Right, and this is going to use the same exact algorithm, excuse me, it's going to use the same algorithm, and depending on what data type is passed into these parameters, then it's going to it's going to substitute t for that data type. So that's why we can pass in different data types to the same function and it will still perform the proper operations. So just keep in mind, I can't do something like this, swap a and t, because this is saying that a is a character and this is saying that t is a float. But if you notice in the swap definition, it's saying that both parameters are the same data type. So this would not work because character and floats are not the same data type. All right, that is template functions. Your secret word is pencil. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right.